Man, the ball's never been an issue for me. All that optics talk and off-field noise? Straight up nonsense. Between the lines, if you've been watching, you know exactly what I'm about. And when an NFL vet like Herm Edwards says a rookie's first preseason game was pretty impressive, you already know something legit just went down. And that's exactly what went down last Friday night in Charlotte. Shedeur Sanders, a dude barely on anyone's radar a few days ago, stepped on the field and flipped the whole QB conversation in Cleveland. The kid buried on the depth chart as QB4 behind some bigger names didn't just play. He shut up the critics, left analysts speechless, and had Coach Prime going full highlight reel mode on Twitter. But here's the part nobody's really talking about. This wasn't some one-off hot streak. This could be the exact moment that changes everything for the Browns. I was ready for the shot. Did I play my absolute best? Honestly, nah. But end of the day, the main goal was to win. And we walked out with that W, plus a whole lot of folks in Cleveland scratching their heads now. Think about it. Just days before that game, Shedeur Sanders was basically invisible on the Browns roster. Fourth-string QB, stuck behind Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Joe Flacco. Most media folks didn't even think he'd survive training camp. Fifth-round draft pick, expectations in the basement. Everybody figured he'd be just another name here today, gone tomorrow. Then the whole script flipped. Pickett goes down, Gabriel's out, and suddenly, the door swings wide open. When Cleveland needed someone to step in and take the snaps, Sanders didn't even blink. The kid went from quiet camp reps and rehabbing that shoulder straight into the bright lights of a nationally televised preseason game. It was like, all right, kid, time to show us what's in that arm. And this wasn't just some backup getting garbage time snaps. This was a golden shot to prove he belonged. Every throw, every read, he was rewriting his own story. Kevin Stefanski said he liked how Sanders ran the offense, and that's exactly what he wanted to see. The plan was simple. Take the guy everyone forgot about and put him right in the spotlight. And man, he didn't just step into the spotlight. He owned it. From forgotten QB4 to the star of the night, Sanders lit a fire under a quarterback battle nobody in Cleveland saw coming. That Friday night against the Panthers wasn't just another preseason game. It was him pounding his chest saying, "I'm here to fight for this job." Sanders took control of the offense with a swagger that caught everybody off guard. He went 14 for 23, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, all in the first half. Overnight, he became the show's main attraction. The Browns smoked him 30-10, but all anyone wanted to talk about was him. It was like that quiet dude at the tailgate who ends up running the grill and the playlist in under 30 minutes. And get this, he didn't even play the whole game. 45 snaps, not even 3 full quarters, and he drops 2 TD passes with the kind of game management you don't usually see from a rookie. And it wasn't just pretty numbers, it was the way he played. No vanilla, safe football here. Sanders took shots, zipped passes into tight windows, and stayed ice-cold the whole time. That calm under fire had defenses guessing and lit a spark in his teammates. In a blink, the guy who started the night as a backup was stealing the show on national TV. And this wasn't luck, it was the kind of performance that makes coaches, fans, and analysts all step back and go, "Hold up, did we just find our guy?" Out of nowhere, the QB conversation in Cleveland got flipped on its head. Everybody wanted to know, who's this rookie making all this noise? And then you got Herm Edwards, a guy who doesn't hand out compliments easy, especially to rookie quarterbacks, breaking down Sanders' game. When Herm takes the time to talk about you, it means something's cooking. What caught Herm's eye wasn't just the stat line or the highlight throws, it was how Sanders handled heat. There were plays where the pocket was collapsing, defenders breathing down his neck, and the kid stayed cool. Rolled out, squared his shoulders, and delivered strikes like he'd been doing it in the league for a decade. That's QB DNA right there. Herm also pointed out how Sanders kept making smart decisions all game long, dodging those rookie mistakes that usually sink a young QB. And the accuracy, crazy good, especially in those tight red zone windows. That's not just raw arm talent, that's film study, reps, and instincts all clicking at the perfect time. For Herm, this was more than just a nice game. It was a preview of what Sanders could become in the league. And for a team like the Browns, who've been starving for stability at quarterback, seeing a rookie command the offense like that was like finding water in the desert. It was exactly the spark the fanbase has been waiting for. During camp, there'd been all this chatter about Sanders' durability. Rumors flying that his arm was sore, that he'd been sitting out of certain drills because of a shoulder issue. People started whispering, "Man, is this kid made of glass? Can he even handle the grind of the NFL?" But Friday night, he shut all that noise down. He played with zero fear, zero hesitation, and no sign of any physical issues. Every throw had purpose, every move looked sharp. Stefanski said the plan was to give Sanders about 50 snaps to see what they really had. In the end, he got 45, threw 2 touchdowns, and, most importantly, ran the offense with total command, enough to put a big grin on the coach's face. And the wildest part? Sanders himself walked out saying he thought his game was kinda subpar. Like, seriously, the guy just put his name on the map, had fans losing their minds, and he's still nitpicking himself like he played trash. That never satisfied mindset? That's the stuff that turns good players into legends. Even with all the pressure on him, he kept his head straight and showed a level of maturity you just don't see in most rookies. For the Browns, a team that's been living through a never-ending soap opera at quarterback, having a guy who brings that kind of stability is like a breath of fresh air. And this was only his first real test. There were 2 plays in that game that explain exactly why Sanders' name blew up in Cleveland. The first TD was a laser early in the game, perfect placement, the kind of throw that showed off the arm talent he flashed at Colorado. It wasn't just about power, it was about timing so clean the defender had no shot and the receiver waltzed right in. But that second TD, man, that was straight out of a highlight reel. End of the first half, heavy pressure in his face, pocket collapsing, and he drops the ball into a window so tight you'd swear it was GPS guided. That's pure talent, ice in the veins, and next-level confidence. The kind of throw that makes a coach stand up and say, "All right, this kid's got something special." And then you had Coach Prime himself, Deion Sanders, turning into his son's biggest hype man. The dude lit up social media, posting highlight after highlight, celebrating every completion like it was a Super Bowl touchdown. This wasn't just a proud dad moment, it was him telling the whole world, "I've been saying this kid's the real deal, and now you're seeing it for yourselves." Those moments didn't just put points on the board, they flipped the whole narrative. Shedeur Sanders wasn't just out there playing football, he was making an announcement, "I'm here in the NFL, and I'm not here to hold a clipboard." After that night, good luck finding someone willing to doubt the kid. The craziest part is how hard he is on himself. After a game that had fans buzzing, he didn't call it a breakout or a statement night. He straight up said it was kinda below my standard. That tells you he's not here for good enough. He's chasing greatness, already thinking about the next challenge before he's even out of his pads. That mindset is what separates leaders from placeholders. Sanders isn't satisfied with just hitting a few nice throws or racking up touchdowns. He wants to master every part of the game and do it week after week. And for the Browns, a team that's been on a QB roller coaster for years, that kind of hunger might be exactly what they've been missing. If that Friday night was just a sneak peek of what he can become, then his self-critique is basically a promise. The kid's just getting started. And with the QB competition in Cleveland heating up, he just threw gasoline on the fire. The rookie who was just another guy is now making everyone rethink who should be running this offense. Before that game, he was buried on the depth chart behind Pickett, Gabriel, and Tyler Huntley. But with Pickett and Gabriel sidelined and Huntley still finding his rhythm, Sanders got thrown straight into the spotlight. And what he showed out there wasn't just potential, it was a message to the vets, slip up and I'm taking that job. Even Joe Flacco, the chillest dude in the building, had to feel the shift in the air. With joint practices against the Eagles coming up and key guys still out, the Browns might just give Sanders more reps with the 1s and 2s. This QB battle in Cleveland is heating up faster than a tailgate grill before kickoff. Sure, we all know it's just one preseason game. One good night doesn't lock in a starting spot or guarantee a long NFL career. But what Sanders showed went way beyond stats. It was poise, confidence, and leadership, things you can't coach. He even said it felt like playing with family, going to war alongside every guy on that field. And that's when hope starts creeping back in. Could it be that the Browns finally found a QB they can trust? Because, man, this fanbase has seen it all. Washed up vets, hyped up busts, last-minute desperation moves. But watching a young gun step in and play with this kind of confidence, that lights a fire Cleveland hasn't felt in years. But the real test is still coming. Let's see if Sanders can keep this up when he's facing first-team defenses, with the games actually counting and the pressure cranked all the way up. That's when you separate the hype from the real deal. And you better believe, fans and coaches are gonna dissect every single snap from here on out. So here's the thing. When a guy like Herm Edwards throws praise at a fifth-round rookie, it's not just talk. The Browns have spent years searching for QB stability, cycling through names without finding the one. Sanders' performance lit a fresh spark, a dose of hope. Now the question is, can he turn this moment into a legacy, or was it just a flash? The season's gonna tell the story.
I've been chasing these dreams, falling out on my team.